Hey everyone, I'm Marina. Welcome back to my channel. So I am here today with an episode. I am in the area where I normally do all of my dyeing. So as you can see behind me, I have dye back here and my sink, but I decided to film here today for a number of reasons. I have had such a hard time finding a microphone for my camera. I've had a microphone, I've switched quite a few microphones trying to find a good one. And I recently just bought a new one and got it out to record and realized that it was not working at all. Like, it was completely broken. I wasn't getting any sound at all, and it was just so frustrating. Literally every time I go to record here to chat with you about all of my projects, something goes wrong every time. And I wouldn't necessarily, I don't have a problem with technology. So the fact that every single time something goes wrong is just, it's crazy. And, you know, there's always a glitch or something, but I mean, my internet will go out for 2 days, or as I'm uploading to YouTube, or, you know, my entire camera will die, or, I mean, just really crazy stuff. So I decided to just set my camera up here. I have a very inexpensive shotgun mic that I put on my camera, and we're just gonna go for it. Hopefully this works out. But I hope you guys have had a great New Year's. This is the first time I'm recording in 2022, so I hope the new year has gone really great for you so far. It has been absolutely crazy here. I'll just tell you that. That's why I did not record last week, because it was so crazy. But I have got a bit of knitting done, a little bit, that I'd like to share with you. The first one is my marble sweater. This is a pattern by PetiteKnit, and I love it so much. So I'm going to try it on. It is massive, absolutely massive. I knit the smallest size, and it is huge. So let me just back up here. It's very large. But I really like it. I really, really like it. So here's what it looks like. The sleeves, I knit a little bit cropped, and I'm not sure if I like that. But here it is. Here's how big the sleeve is on me. It's very oversized. And then let me just back up a little more. So here's where it hits on me, and it's very large. So if I was going to knit this again, I probably would, like, here's my underarm right here. I probably would stop the raglan increases somewhere, you know, in between my natural arm and where I knit now. I probably would go to about here, just so it was still oversized. But I actually really like it, and it's so warm, and that's exactly why I knit this pattern. And I used, let's see, I used 4 strands of Plotülopi, and I also used 2 strands of my Noe mohair silk base, and I dyed it this color I called beach sand or sand. I don't know, I don't carry it in the shop. I just wanted to warm this color up a little bit, and it definitely did. So this is the color, I think it's number 86 beige. And so it went from kind of a warm gray or a cool taupe color, and I wanted to warm it up. So that's what I did. And I actually really like it. I think it turned out really nice. You can definitely see, if I get a close up, you can see like how There's just a lot of pretty variation in there, but not a tremendous amount. And it's very fuzzy. I don't know if you can see the halo here. So that is my marble sweater, and I really like it. Now, I do think there's a huge possibility, because I still have all of the yarn left, that I will most likely lengthen this. And so in the pattern, really the only thing I changed is that I made the rib shorter. But I think that I will maybe add on a little more, especially because, as you saw in with my leftovers, I've got plenty of leftovers in here to just add on a little bit more of the ribbing, and that really wouldn't take much. And that reminds me, really the only modification I made on this pattern, besides the yarn, is that I did not knit as deep of a rib on the hem, and then also the sleeve. If you can see the sleeve, there was supposed to be a tremendous inches of rib for the sweater. So I didn't do that, but I have just been putting this on all the time if I feel cold. It feels kind of rustic, but it's not overly rustic, if that makes sense. So anyway, this is the marble sweater. I really like it. It's a good sweater. I'm really happy with it. It's my first finished object of 2022, so that's really good. And you know, the whole purpose of knitting this with the Plotülopi is to be very warm, and it really is. It's a great sweater. I think it would probably be a little warmer if it wasn't so big, because there's been a couple of times where I've gone outside and it's just the draft, the air has just flown into my sleeves. So if it was maybe a little bit smaller, but I still really like it. And you know, realistically, I am going to be wearing this for such a short amount of time in the year that I'm not really concerned with just a beautiful fit or anything. And I really do like the way this fits. So anyway, moving along. Oh, I should say, I also knit it on the called for needle size, which is a 15, US 15. I can't remember what that is in millimeter, maybe 10, I'm not sure. But I put everything, I'll put all the info down below in case you're interested. But after knitting with this Plotülopi, and I was just really inspired by just how warm it was. And we've had a lot of cold weather here. Of course, it's always relative, but my house is actually very cold as well. It's not a warm house. So I get even if, you know, like right now you can see back here, the sun is just, it's so sunny and beautiful today. But my house remains cold. I don't have a lot of sun in my house, which is too bad. But I get cold. And so for me, even though our weather is not as cold as other places, it's just that my situation is cold. So I appreciate a sweater like this. So moving on, I remembered that I have some Icelandic wool yarn in my stash, and I've had it for probably 10 years. I had some good friends go to Iceland on their honeymoon about 10 years ago, and they brought me back a couple of skeins of yarn, which was so thoughtful, and it was just super cool because it just wasn't accessible to us Americans, I guess, as it is now. And so I was just really thrilled by it, and I've had it in my stash, and I haven't known what to do with it. So I grabbed the, I think it's the beige. I'm pretty sure it's the same colorway as my sweater, number 86 beige, but the label was missing. And it is Plotülopi, which is like a chunky, it's chunkier than worsted, but I don't know if I would say it's a bulky weight. Anyway, so I knit 2 pairs of mittens from it, and as you can tell, they are just for little people. I knit these for my 2 youngest kids, and they are 3 and 6, and they have loved them so much. My 3-year-old boy has remarked how soft these are, which is, I didn't know if he was maybe getting soft and rough mixed up, but he insisted that they were just so soft, and so they have been playing with these so much. And the pattern I used is the free pattern from Tin Can Knits, and I will link it below. And it is such a fabulous pattern because it's just so simple. So it's just a 1x1 rib, and then thumb gusset, and then knit a little bit up here, decreases, and then I did a Kitchener stitch on the top. And I think these took me, maybe I did 2 pairs in a week, and I really haven't been knitting that much, so these really did go very quickly. I did size down a needle size from the called for in the pattern. I'm following the, I believe the chunky, I think it's the chunky gauge. And so this pattern is so, so great because it has instructions for all different yarn weights and all different sizes as well. I am doing the child size, not the toddler, the child size. So these are good sized on my kids, but I didn't want tiny mittens either. I just wanted some nice big chunky mittens that they could throw on and grow into, and they would be easy for them to get on. So I thought these are really cute, and the color is just so pretty. I really like that. And so I just decided I was really enjoying knitting these mittens, and I then had, as I feel like I talk about often, my kids, if I make something for one child, then they all want it, with the exception of my oldest daughter, who is now 15, and but even she wanted some. Isn't that funny? So I had one more skein of this, and I did have the ball band for this one, and this is colorway, oh, this is colorway 86, so this may have been from the last one I just talked about. But this one is so pretty, isn't it? That's right. So I do have, this is the ball band from my, from these mittens. So this is number 86, which I think is beige. I think it's the same color as this. But this one is just so pretty. And I don't know if I can get this color anymore. And I don't know what color it is. So if you are familiar with Plotülopi, please leave me a comment and let me know what color this is, because for some reason I had not looked at this in a really long time, and in my memory this was a berry color, more pink, and I don't remember it being so chunky and tweedy. And then when I pulled this out, I loved it so much because it's so pretty. And here it is in the beginning stages of being knit up. And you can just see those tweedy bits. They're so pretty. So it might be the color ruby red. I'm not sure. Anyway, I will probably only have enough yarn for one pair of mittens from this skein. The reason is these are going to be, or this mitten is going to be the small adult size, so the smallest adult size That's what I'm knitting here. And so for the kids, actually, I didn't explain this, and I don't think this is even the pair. I ran out of yarn with these mittens, so I had done 3.5 mittens, and I was to about here on the final pair and ran out. So I actually used 3 strands of my Plotülopi that I had right here. So I used 3 strands of this, and it ended up being the exact perfect gauge of the Icelandic. So I just used the rest. It was, slightly different color, but it ended up being perfect. So I couldn't even believe my luck. And so just in case you want to know that, 3 strands of Plotülopi worked great. So right now I am just working on this pair. This will be for my oldest daughter. But I have 2 other daughters who are just obsessed. They really are obsessed with this color. They really love it, and I love it too. It's just a very unique, beautiful red. It has blue heathered in it, and then of course all of the pretty chunky, oranges and greens, and the blue, it's almost like a violet. It's like an ultraviolet color. It's very pretty. So, and of course, they're very, very warm. So I plan on finishing these. But if you do know this color, let me know, because I would love to get some more of this. I have not found another colorway that is similar to this with all like the super chunky tweed. So I might just end up doing one and one pair, and then having to purchase, I don't know, purchase another color for someone else, which is fine. So that is basically all I have done. You know what? I actually have one more thing I wanted to share with you, so let me go get it and I'll be right back. I almost forgot these. I have been waiting to show this to you for a month now. And so I'm so excited to dig this out of my bag. I think I've talked about this before. I love this project bag. I made it quite a long time ago, but I stuffed so much stuff in here. I stuffed so many projects in here. Okay, so I started a new project, but I didn't want to share it with you because it was part of my clubs from December. So, oh goodness, let's see what we have here. Oh my, I have quite a quite a mess going on here. Okay, I think I've got it all untangled. That was insane. Okay, I started a granny stripe blanket. I love dyeing my clubs so much, especially my mini clubs. I have had so much fun doing that. And so I decided to start using the minis that I dye every month and dye one for myself. And yeah, I just thought it would be really fun. So I have been, well, just for 1 month now. So I haven't been doing this for a while. But for last month, for December, I dyed an extra mini mystery club on my Lonnie DK base, and I started a granny stripe blanket. I will link the pattern below, kind of what I used. So I kind of just started it, and then I love the blog by Addict24, who's just everyone, and if you have done crochet, I'm sure you've heard of her, but I'm always the last one to know about things. So I think I used to read her blog many years ago and then kind of forgot, and then maybe rediscovered her recently. I don't know. I am always the last person to know. So anyway, this is what it looks like. So I didn't want to show you when I had finished. I mean, I did. Trust me, I did, because this was so beautiful. I really, really wanted to share this with you, but I didn't. I had so much self-control. So the difference, how I did mine, I actually just, and I wish I would have found the instructions before I actually started this, but I only did a chain, a crochet chain, and then started all of my granny stripes. So I shouldn't have probably done that, but that's just the way it is. Here's how big this is. So I will show you with my wingspan. It's really long, but I was comfortable with this length, and the reason I was is because I fudged and fudged with the initial chain and how many, I guess, double crochet clusters I was making. And so what I have found, and this is why I do have some ends, I have not woven them in, all these ends. I did a stripe to and from with each mini skein, and that was, you know, it was something that I just kind of worked out, and it was just trial and error. So I used a scale, and I, you know, ripped some out, and yeah, it was just trial and error. And I will tell you, I have, let me count real quick. I will count and I will tell you how many I have. Okay, so on a full row, and if you follow the instructions that are on the Attic 24 site, which I will link below, if you follow that, I have 65 full clusters on the rows that use a full cluster. And if you read the instructions, you'll understand what I mean. So, so that hopefully that gives you a ballpark. So for each mini skein, I was able to go back and forth about 65 clusters. I hope that helps. But anyway, I started on this, and I just, I really loved December's mini skeins, and I just really loved how they crocheted up. And I am using a size I, which is a 5.5 millimeter hook. It's a clover hook that I've had forever. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna do this every month though. I already have the mini skeins for January, and I have not added them because I wanted to show you this before I added them, and I didn't want to spoil the surprise. So, you know, I kind of like this because I'm really terrible at long process knits or projects in general. I'm very good at just getting through things, getting things done, you know, only focusing on that and really pushing through. I don't like having lots of things go on. So I'm trying to get better though, and so that's why I started this, because there's only so far I can go each month. I can only add 3 DK weight mini skeins, and they're going to be from my clubs, and I only dye 3 mini skeins per club. So that's all I can add. So I don't know how long this will go on. I have no idea. I'm just going to keep going, and you know, maybe I'll add things that aren't my clubs in the future, but this little tiny beginning of a blanket is what I have right now, and I really like it. So I actually, just as an aside, this is kind of what I had planned on doing with my 2021 advent calendar, my Sea Breeze advent calendar. I had planned on doing a blanket like this because I dyed it in a fade, for those of you who have heard me talk about it. And if you're wondering what project I'm going to make with my advent calendar, I actually had someone ask me very, very close to Christmas. They really wanted a calendar, and I sent them mine. So it was just a choice that I made, and I'm happy I did it. And so I will not be knitting or crocheting with my Seabreeze Advent Calendar this year, but I'm okay with that. And I've really enjoyed all of your projects. They are so incredibly creative, and I'm sure there's so many more of you who have not shared them on Instagram, and it's just, I love seeing your projects. So anyway, I will continue with this and tuck the ends in so it's not so messy next time. And maybe even clean out my giant project bag. Maybe I'll actually clean it out so it has a little place where it can reside for itself. But that is, yeah, that is really all I have been working on. Oh, I have one more thing. I keep forgetting. It's like I haven't done this for a week. I forget. So let me get it. Let's see. It's here in the studio. So this is something that oh my goodness, this has been languishing on my electric eel wheel for quite a while. And I was able to squeeze out a little bit of spinning, which is crazy. But isn't this so fabulous? I love this yarn so much. It is so squishy and so chunky. Oh my goodness, I love it so much. Okay, so this was sitting on my electric eel wheel. I had one bobbin left, and I only had like two little, like this big, little tiny bundles of yarn to finish this and then to ply it. And I just thought, why have I not been spinning? I know why I haven't. It's just been a lot lately. But I got on and I finished this and I couldn't be happier. Okay, so let me give you some stats. It is 112 grams and it's about 171 yards. So as you can imagine, it is a very bulky, chunky yarn, but it is so beautiful. I did a fractal barber pole 2-ply type spin, and this is a Superwash Merino nylon. I can just tell this was one of my clubs from last year, and I don't have the bag, I don't have a label or any kind of notes. I don't know what I was thinking. I really love all these colors together though, because you have nice pops of light colors, but then you have a deep orchid purple. But most of this it's just a lot of blues and greens. I've got a lime green and a teal green and a forest green. I remember dyeing this because I used lots of different shades of green and then blended them, so it just came out with some grays even. There's some really, really beautiful colors in here. So I don't know why I don't finish these things sometimes. I don't remember. I have no idea when this is from. So I'm gonna have to investigate. I think it's a little ridiculous that I can't remember what club this is from. But I really love it, and I'm not sure what I see this as. Probably a hat or something. I just think it would be the cutest hat knit up. I think this would be so, so fun in like a chunky knit hat. It's so pretty. I really like this yarn a lot. So I finished that up and it was really fun, and always it's just so pleasant spinning on the electric eel wheel. For some of us, it's like me, I don't have a dedicated space to spin, and I have children who want to play with the wheel, and it's just an effort. And that's actually why I started knitting, and in the first place, is because I can tuck it all away into a bag and it's all contained and no one can get into it, because I used to sew all the time. I used to sew quite a bit. So anyway, it's kind of the same thing with a spinning wheel. It's just everyone wants to touch it, and I don't want to ruin my project by leaving it out. And sometimes as a parent, and especially a parent to littles, you're not going to do your crafting if you're not around everybody and it's not accessible. If it's not physically accessible, you're not going to do it. So anyway, this was really fun, really squishy, and I enjoyed it so much. I just don't remember what club of mine it's from. It's from 2021, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, anyway, that is all I've been working on. This is a very casual episode. I actually really enjoyed it. I hope the sound is okay with my microphone situation. I hope you loved the backdrop of my dying room. It's actually, this room gets very, very bright in the winter afternoons. It actually is so bright that I have to pull the shade. The shade is pulled here because a lot of times on this table I will put aluminum pans and the to dye, and the light is so bright it bounces off the pans and it's like blinding. But I really appreciate you watching this episode this week. It was very casual, but it was great. It was great catching up with you and showing you the few projects I've been working on. I hope your 2022 is so fabulous. It's really off to a great start. I hope you found tons of time for knitting and for crafting, but I will catch you again next week with another episode. Until then, I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.